Newham Council have introduced a reciprocal mentoring, which you call co-mentoring program. Bernard, why did you set up reciprocal, or can I call it co-mentoring program, and not a reverse mentoring program, and who can take part?
Thanks for that, Trevor. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. So we've actually got, we call it the Reciprocal Mentoring Program within Newham. This was set up as part of the Tackling Racism, Inequality and Disproportionality program. So the TRID program itself was launched in probably July 2020, and Reciprocal Mentoring was a key deliver our Project One, which we call Newham as an employer, which focuses on everything in terms of internal practices and supporting the organisation around that. So there was a particular pledge that encouraged us to say to the organisation, we will enable our staff to live in our organisational values, and we'll put in place measures to protect against unconscious bias in order that we have a representative and inclusive workforce. So the reason we went for reciprocal mentoring over reverse mentoring is that, as was kind of explained in the video, traditional mentoring is probably a bit more hierarchical, where senior managers kind of mentor downwards, so to speak. So reciprocal mentoring is about really trying to understand the lived experience of each other, really. So you've got a senior leader and you've got someone who's not a senior leader, but they're also able to share those experiences and work as partners in progress. And I think that is one of the key things about this, particularly within the TRID program. And I think is to really try and create out those firm levels of trust for a solid foundation as well, to kind of break those power dynamics and to really encourage members and senior yet, and to really just try to push them to form and contribute some of the changes which we want to see in the organization. So through the reciprocal mentoring scheme, we want to create co-mentoring relationships. So we won't call it a mentor and a mentee. They are co-mentors. And again, that kind of just reduces that power dynamic. And in doing so, the main aim is to really build an inclusive organizational culture, break down some of those barriers that are facing our Black, Asian and ethnically diverse colleagues within the organization, and it enables all participants to really kind of develop some of those key leadership skills, including skills on self-awareness, active listening, and hopefully enabling change in other people as well. So so it's definitely been something which has been positive, and I'm glad to have personally taken part in it, having also done traditional mentoring in the past elsewhere.
We've heard quite a lot of organizations have done reverse mentoring. Some it's gone really well and some not so well at all, and I think it's the power dynamic has been the challenge, so hence the difference in reciprocal mentoring. So thank you for sharing that, Bernard. It goes back to what Raj was saying, it's giving people the skills to run it correctly, if you want to use that word. Manjeet, how does the process work when you yourselves run it?
Okay, so hello everyone. So basically it starts off with you approach senior managers that would possibly volunteer themselves to be involved, but initially when it was my cohort, the first cohort, they were told they need to be involved, and then obviously junior members of staff volunteered to also have a training session set up. So we had 4 training sessions, which helps us build a relationship and break the barriers of that seniority and junior staff levels. And the training, Bernard mentioned some of it, is about addressing identity, it be bias and conscious and not unconscious bias. And it actually looked at how our purpose of why we want to be part of this scheme. So it addressed all of this type of training. We need to break those barriers, and then it ran with we had to have 5 to 6 sessions of having the partnership of this mentoring scheme, and then we always had teams. We had monitoring on that, where they asked us how it went along. But to avoid having, because we got the seniority and junior staff, it was split into groups. So you had part A and part B groups, and we had so we could catch up on exactly what was being, how, if we felt comfortable, if there's anything else we need to address that we couldn't address amongst our sessions. I don't know if that made sense. So sorry.
No, thank you. And I think quite important. So after the program, was there any follow-up?
Yes, so we did have follow-up. So once we had our 5 to 6 sessions, and I say 5 to 6 only because I've continuously had my sessions. So I've had about 10, 11 odd sessions with my mentor. But after we had initial follow, the whole process had turned out, what could we improve on leading on continuing to deliver this program within the council, or what we should do next. And then we've got another one a whole year afterwards, which is happening next month.
Brilliant, thank you. I think important is, it's an activity, if you can use that word. For a question to both of you, if I start with Bernard, what would you say the impact it has had on the organisation, the race network, and yourself personally?
I think it's been very beneficial, and I'm not just saying that because it's part of the program, but Manji will probably be able to speak about how it's really affected her, and it's kind of led her to becoming the co-chair for the Race Equality Staff Forum. But I think it encourages action, and I think particularly when talking about issues of race, as with many other wider protected characteristics, it can't always be up to the ethnically diverse person to fix it. I think it sits with everyone, and I think in terms of building that role of allyship and understanding, that's all part of that. So it helps us all play a part in making a better environment. So people from ethnically diverse backgrounds who have experienced certain things are able to share that, and people who might not necessarily experience that are able to get a bit of an understanding to hopefully create better cultures within their own personal environments as well. So as Manny kind of mentioned, the way we do it is, and I think we've got a group A who are junior colleagues who are from ethnically diverse backgrounds, and then we've got mentor Bs who are senior managers who would come from any background. So a mentor from group A and a mentor from group B are matched. So it's to really address those issues of racial inequality as well, to really get our understanding.
And I think from the poll earlier that Raj mentioned, most organisations, 67% race is being tackled or driven by ethnically diverse colleagues, and as I said, not enough of allies or senior leaders. And I think, as you said, this will help
100%.
inform, educate, and I said action driven. Then
100% beneficial, I guess, in hearing from someone who's been in the organisation a bit longer than me on some of the issues that they may have had to deal with. So in terms of looking to support them, but also they've been able to really support me in the work I'm doing, and to give fresh ideas, a fresh approach. And separately, I think it just allows me to step out of that bubble and remember why I was so passionate about getting involved with the program in the first place. And I guess it's not an easy topic to deal with, and I know we've got lots of race network leaders here, and sometimes it can be draining to sometimes do something with change, being seen particularly on a national, international level. So it can get very easy to just get down on that. I think it allowed me to kind of step out of it, remind myself why I'm doing this again, and give me a better understanding as to other issues for other people.
Thank you. And same question for you, Manjeet.
Okay, so overall, since from the cohort I was from, there's been several promotions within some of the staff members, and then generally in the organisation, where we are trying to make the change of how people are treated and respected, and the opportunities presented to them, and having that relationship with a senior member of staff has helped to start. It's like throwing a stone in a river and it rippling out. So you're starting off small in exactly where you organise it, and how you can make that all follow through outwards, leading outwards, and how we can make that change. And then so how it worked for me, I'd say that worked perfectly in my position, but it also with the senior co-mentor I had also did it downwards. So it's kind of meeting halfway in the middle, and then that being echoed with other hearsay with everyone else, good news stories as such, with all other members of staff of all levels wanting to participate. So we made I feel we made a big, and for us to carry on with having cohort 2, and hopefully it continues.